This is 3FM.
I think at the moment the island genuinely needs a new generation of MHKs to come forward and to represent the people more fairly, effectively, and also be more transparent and accountable to the people of this island. There's massive decisions to be made, and I want to be part of that process to ensure that those decisions are made for the right reason over the next 5 years. I think where they've lost the connection with the people of this island, and we've got to rebuild the trust. And from building the trust, we should then be able to make those difficult decisions, but also explain those difficult decisions. Some of those decisions are not going to be palatable, we all understand that. But what we've got to do is to make sure that those decisions are explained openly, honestly and fairly to the people, and that's what I'm trying to reach out to people. If people elect me over the last 4 years as an Onchan Commissioner, I've absolutely been there. Anybody needs to contact me, I've been contactable. Anybody who needs help, I've tried to help them. But more importantly, I've been accountable for the decisions and where I stand on certain topics. On a local issue, most of it is making sure that the local authority remains in place. I feel it delivers an excellent service. I also want Onchan to remain a housing authority in its own right, delivering the service on behalf of our tenants on the ground. I also want to ensure the rates are set fairly over the next 5 years, because there's going to be additional costs coming through. On the doorstep over the last 4 weeks when I've been knocking on the door, the main issues have, believed it or not, have been really local or personal issues. The biggest complaint is potholes in roads in Onchan is terrible. Pensions is a concern which everybody's talking about. Believe it or not, the biggest one that most people are talking about is the TV licence. Everybody is absolutely up in arms of that, and I totally agree with what they're saying. The Isle of Man government, or the next government, should bridge the gap between now and 2020 and pay for those TV licences for the over 75s. But come 2020, it's the Isle of Man government's responsibility to put pressure on the BBC to fund those TV licences as they're doing in the UK. And we're not getting the same fair service as the UK, so that's got to change. I'm not sure we need more housing at the moment, because the population seems to be moving, and all the indications are showing that the Isle of Man is reducing in size, not increasing in size. So we've got to make use of the properties that are out there and available. What I do want to ensure is that there's more housing available for first-time buyers. That then goes on to a problem, because as I said before this interview, one problem creates another problem. And if you look at housing, yes, we need more people. I want people to get the keys to their own properties. What concerns me is that there's the loss of banking on the Isle of Man, which then makes mortgages almost impossible to obtain. So you're going to have to rely more on government first-time buyer schemes than ever before. And what I'm actually saying is I want people in local authority housing, out of local authority housing, into their own properties at a young age, at a sensible age, so they can get their own keys. What I'm actually also saying is we've got to sort out the banking sector as well. I think it's clear, if you look at the data, that employment has increased. So on the employment side, that's been very good. Genuine jobs have been generated, which is excellent. However, going into the next 5 years, I do have serious concerns that employment will drop, and we've got to strengthen our economy. We've got to look for new markets. It is the cliche. We've got to look for absolute every opportunity we can over the next 5 years. We need to help new business start up, which then creates genuine employment opportunities for the future. And that's the only way we're going to. But that also, as we say, starts another trend off, because we've got to make sure people leaving school have the skills for those jobs. And that's something I'm also very, very passionate about. I think if you listen to what most people are saying, that the business, it's split. A lot of people would say yes, they have confidence. They've had confidence in the last of how the government's handled some very difficult situations over the last 5 years. But I think also a lot of people are saying that if you read the latest report, a lot of people are saying that they don't have confidence. They don't feel the security in their employment as they did, say, 10 years ago. People are saying that they're feeling less value in their pocket. And that's a concern. And that goes back to what I was saying before. We've got to rebuild the confidence in people. I suffered from redundancy myself in 2013. I know what that is like to go through, and it was not pleasant. And that's why I'm standing. I want to make sure that people do not have to go through that. That as a national politician, I work tirelessly to create opportunities, employment, so people do feel secure. We cannot go through where we went through in the 1990s and the 1998s. We can't have that. as I said from the outset of this video, I think we've got to engage with the Manx public. We've got to bring them with us, let them understand the tough decisions. And if we have to make those tough decisions, explain them in detail. If we're going to have consultations, have genuine consultations. If we're going to make tough decisions, make sure those tough decisions are the right decisions and they actually stand the test of time, because a lot of the decisions over the last 10 years have not.
More music for the Isle of Man.
3FM.